Very challenging weather here. Yeah. It's a good thing it's nice on the ground. I mean, the main reason I come to Slovenia for gliding is I have a lot of friends here. The company has a high level of English, and people are largely willing to speak in English, whereas you go to Germany and France and the competitions there, and okay, they also speak English, but they often choose not to speak English. So that's the main reason that we come to competitions in Slovenia, is because it's a much more welcoming atmosphere for English speakers to come here. So we fit in a lot better. And yeah, it's great flying with my friends, and it's a really high level flying in Slovenia. There's lots of really good pilots to race against. It's nice to get beaten, so always good to race against Bostian, who's flying extremely well. One of the few people who can still drive an open class glider the way they were meant to be. So we really had weather for that this week. Terrible thermal conditions. I mean, the highlight of the competition, or the highlight of the tasking, was the one day we went to Lesse, which is where I know that the weather is good. But yeah, I understand that not everyone wants to fly in the mountains, and that's the main attraction of coming here for a lot of pilots in Slovenia. But it would be nice if the therm was just a little bit higher and a little bit stronger every so often. I think I was choosing my routes very well, both on the mountain days and on the flatland days. I think I was utilising the terrain better than a lot of even the local pilots. But there's still issues with my risk management with such inconsistent conditions, and trying to decide when you're going to sit in a quarter of a metre and when you're going to push on, when the next one could be 2 metres or it could be another quarter of a metres. That's pretty hardcore, so I've still got work to do there if I'm going to come back and fly in such varied conditions. There's a JS3 I fly in Europe, which is about a year and a half old now. So it's a res system, so it's quite heavy, but even though it's quite heavy, it's still got very good handling even when you're very, very low, which turns out to be important here. So competitions in Europe are very different to Australia, and I think Slovenia is one of the strongest examples of that, in that it seems that families and children are welcome and not only dragged along to competitions, but I mean, I didn't speak to many of them here, but it seems like they want to come to competitions. So it's an atmosphere where they feel welcome, and that's something that people tell me used to exist in Australia and many other places in the world, and for whatever reason doesn't anymore. And there's 100 different reasons people gave as to why we don't have kids at competitions in Australia, but I think long term it'll be the death of gliding if we don't solve the problem or get it back to how you have it here.